Hi, I'm Bryan Hughes. I'm a product manager on the Photoshop team, and today I'm going to show you some new features in Bridge CS4. Here we are in Bridge CS4, and you can see that the Bridge team has been hard at work making significant changes to the interface. We have familiar backwards and forwards buttons here. We have a trail of breadcrumbs showing us where we are in our file tree. We have new workspace switchers. These are user configurable, and within them there are also some new controls. So I could hit my list view, which is something that people have been asking for a while. You see that I have all sorts of information, but as I scroll, the information scrolls and the image stays parked. If I come back to my own selection here, we'll see our images. We also have a search widget over here that will either search Bridge's metadata, or we can even tap into the OS engine, in this case Spotlight. One of the other things that we've got here is the ability to look at these images in full screen. So let's take a look at that. This is something that people have asked for a while. I can now quickly scroll through my images full screen. If I want to come back and make a selection of all of those images, if I hit Command B, I have a hardware accelerated view where I can quickly spin through those. I can rank them and sort them really easily in real time there. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is what we've done around cropping in Adobe Camera Raw 5. I'm going to go ahead and take this image. I really like the fallout I've got in the corners here, but I don't like some of the distracting elements off to the left-hand side. So I'm going to pull that in and crop the image. Now I've lost that vignetting I had on the left. What I want to do here is introduce a little bit of fallout, a little bit of vignetting, and you see that we now have the ability, in addition to changing the amount in the midpoint, I can add roundness or feathering to give it a more organic look. So I've got the mood that I want back there. What's great is that if I want to crop after the fact, you see that the vignetting follows my crop guidelines. So I have a lot more control. Complete, re-editable, non-destructive post-crop vignetting. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the hardware accelerated features in Photoshop CS4. You'll notice that we're at 33.33% here, and yet all of our text and all of our smooth edges are rendered perfectly here. The type is clean, and that's because we're tapping into the GPU. As I zoom in, you'll see that we have a nice fluid transition, eventually picking up a pixel grid as I pull in closely there. I get that same smooth behavior as I pull back. If I want to pan around in the image, I have some toss physics that allow me to quickly move throughout. Again, let's go ahead and pull back. And one of the other things that I can do here now is rotate the canvas. So I can just go ahead and grab this and turn things any way that I want. And you'll notice that as I'm doing this, the rulers change with it, and I can just draw on an angle as I'd like to. Of course, go ahead and zoom in there at the fact, and you see everything is nice and clean and sharp right up close there. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the user experience work we've done in Photoshop. And when we set out to do user improvements for this version of Photoshop CS4, we thought it would be great to offer the power of adjustment layers in a quick, easy, non-modal way. So now you see an adjustment panel over here on your right, and if I want to do something like curves, not only can I click on that and just apply my curves, but you'll see that I've added an adjustment layer as I did that. I don't need to know what adjustment layers are. I don't need to comb through the menus. I've just created one. Furthermore, I have the ability to interact directly with my image by just clicking on any region that I want to lighten or darken. I can quickly edit that. I can come back here to my adjustment panel and see that I have presets for everything. So if I want to go ahead and just increase my saturation, I can click on that there, and you'll see that we've added a saturation adjustment layer. And within the hue saturation, you see that we have the ability to interact directly on the image there as well, much like you can in Lightroom. So if I want to make his tie a little more red, I just click on that and do that. It's all non-destructive, quick, easy. Zoom in a bit here. What we're going to do is make a selection here. I'm going to take the Quick Select tool that we added in Photoshop CS3. Just make a really quick selection. Let's go ahead and clean that up just a little bit. And what we're going to do is go into the new mask panel. Before we do that, let's go ahead and make that a black and white adjustment layer, but that's not what I wanted to do. So now in CS4, I have this new mask panel, and one of the things I can do is invert that mask I just created. So I have a black and white image with a red tie, and there's some new things that I can do to that mask. I can adjust the density of it, I can adjust the feathering of it, soften the edges, and I can create or alter vector or pixel masks directly from here. I can hit the Mask Edge button and come in and refine my mask that I've created. This is leveraging the same technology from CS3, the Refine Edge technology, and applying it to a mask. So I have different ways of previewing that and making changes to it. We've made a lot of changes to the way color range works. So if I want to just select his tie, you can see I've created a very complex mask here by using the new color range control, and I can add additional colors to my selection. You see I'm choosing different color ranges. That'll build a mask on the fly. I can invert my selection, I can change my selection to channels, preview it off or on, and even delete it. So complete re-editable live control of my mask directly from a panel, non-modal. Now I'd like to show you some of the changes we've made to the dodge and burn tools. These are very popular tools and a lot of people find their way to them. Unfortunately, they haven't worked exactly as users would expect in the past. First, I want to show you the way that they used to work, just something like this. That's really not what I had in mind. So by default, from now on, you'll have Protect Tones selected, and as I dodge the shadows, you'll notice that I'm only dodging the shadows. As we come over to do the same with the Burn tool, let's go ahead and burn the highlights, make sure we click Protect Tones, although again, that will be on by default. You'll notice that I'm able to very quickly and easily equalize that image using the full power of Adobe's Paint engine linked up to a more intelligent algorithm. Now I should mention, although I won't show, that this also applies to the Sponge tool, which uses the logic of the new Vibrance adjustment layer. I'd like to show you some of what we've been doing around alignment and blending in Photoshop CS4. We introduced the notion in Photoshop CS3 and we've built a lot upon it. You'll notice as I select my layers over here that I have a number of different images, all varying in focus and color correction. What I want to do is target all of them, select them all, come up here, and let's say Auto Blend. I want to do two things. Let's stack them and say Seamless Tones and Colors. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and Photoshop is going to look at the content of each different image, it's going to look at the focal points in each, and it's going to look at the color correction of each different layer, and it's going to give me a composite of all of that data. So what I'll have returned is a perfectly focused and perfectly exposed image, as you see there. You'll notice off to the right-hand side, I also have a very complex mask that's been built on the fly. I'm going to go ahead and hit Command-Z to show you what we started with, and then again to show you what we ended up with. New to Bridge CS4 is the ability to create context sheets and web photo galleries direct from its own workspace. I can go ahead and select the images that I want here, and you see that I have an output workspace. As soon as I click on that, you'll notice that quickly my interface changes. I have the images I selected in a nice contact sheet with the information at the bottom here. And off to the right-hand side here, I can dictate what parameters I'd like in the template. I can choose either a PDF or a web gallery, and I can change just about every possible variable of those to assure that I have my own unique look and feel to the document.